know where you live, but for me, spring weather means rain, 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 puddles, flooding, muddy. Kids don't want to be outside in the grass. So let's talk about some rainy day activities that will help keep your child engaged and also help them sleep well, because they will be exerting their energy rather than just sitting on the couch all day on rainy days watching TV. Now this video is specifically about activities to use for your toddler, but if you are interested in a full guide that breaks down every single age starting with birth and different activities that you can do inside during wake time and just on rainy days when you need some ideas of activities to do, then head to the description box and the comments down below, and I have an entire guide for you with so many great ideas. So we know toddlers, right? Toddlers have high energy, and that means they need to exert this energy in order to sleep well at night. But if it's raining outside, then it really diminishes your opportunity of getting them out of the house and using up all that energy. So here's your rescue plan. Let's talk about my top 5 stimulating indoor activities for your toddler. Number 1 is easily my favorite, mostly because it's easy. Big movement and gross motor play. Now this can be a bunch of different things, but my favorite things are music and movement, aka a dance party, and an indoor obstacle course. I am talking about using your pillows and blankets and chairs and lining them all up into this great obstacle course that you can set up with things that you already have inside your house to help your toddler use all of that big muscle energy. Now, when I say big muscle energy, gross motor play, stuff like that, it is using the big muscles in their body, their big leg muscles, their big arm muscles. They're using their whole body to navigate the obstacle course or to dance. When we're doing fine motor, that is stuff that we will actually talk about in a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. Another really fun and easy gross motor activity is using balloons. Play keep it up. Start with 1 balloon and then add 2 balloons and then add 3 balloons. And depending how old your child is, you can keep adding balloons for them to have to keep it up as much as possible, as many balloons as you want to throw in. You can also use the balloons on a bed sheet or like a crib sheet, depending on how big you want it to be, or a blanket, whatever, and make it like a parachute. So they are keeping the balloons up on parachute. And if you're anything like me, you will find some songs on YouTube that go with the theme. So if you're doing some like music and movement activities, you can find songs like Raining, Pouring, Itsy Bitsy Spider, all of those rainy day songs. A really fun one that kids love is Hop Little Bunnies, Hop Hop Hop. And just for the record, I've been using that song for over 10 to 15 years in my music and movement classes that I used to teach. I know it's all the rage right now, but I started that craze. One channel that I love on YouTube when it comes to finding some dance songs that are really fun is Cuckoo Kangaroo. These guys are completely cuckoo, but their songs are so much fun. And then there's also musical toddler yoga songs that I really love as well. So I will potentially leave some examples in the description box down below of some songs that you can use, but you can really find anything that your toddler might be into, and there are songs out there for them. Activity category number 2 is sensory play. This is for your water bin or your sand bin, your Play-Doh. All of these things, that's using your child's fine motor skills. So they're using their fingers to manipulate the sand. They're using their hands to squeeze the Play-Doh. They're using their hands to pour water from one cup to another cup. And speaking of Play-Doh, I love making our own Play-Doh. There are thousands of recipes online, but if you wanted to do like a cooking Play-Doh or a non-cooking Play-Doh, just make sure you look at the recipe before you make it, because sometimes you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And that happened to me one time when I didn't know I had to actually cook Play-Doh, and I was like, wait, what the heck? Cloud dough, there's oobleck. There's a ton of different things that you can make at home. I won't say slime because we don't do slime in this house, but there are recipes online for lots of different manipulative things that you can make, like Play-Doh and cloud dough and oobleck and stuff like that, that you can make with stuff that you likely already have at home. Idea number 3 is creative play. So this goes for anything creative. So open-ended art activities. I loved when my kids were little, just getting a bunch of different materials that are around the house. And if you do crafts often, then you probably have like leftovers or like miscellaneous stuff. Just get it all together, put it on the table, give your kid some glue sticks, maybe some scissors, maybe some miscellaneous objects or whatever it might be, miscellaneous supplies, some paper, and just let them do what they want to do. And this is actually really great for helping your child have those independent play skills, so that while it is indoor play and you're not necessarily able to go outside and do something fun, they're still independently using their own brain and doing their own thing, so that you can also do your own thing as well. Now, I'm not giving you an excuse to go fold the laundry, but if you're like one of those type A peoples, I don't know what that's like, but if you are type A and you like have to have the laundry done, then this is your time to go do it. Another thing I like with creative play is big building blocks. So if you have those like really big ones that are like cardboard and you can build different fun things like houses and stuff with them, then you could definitely do that. Or if you have a large appliance box, then this is a great time to cut a door into your appliance box, give your kids some crayons to color all over it, and go to town with making them a fun little appliance box little fort. Which can also be another form of creative play, is building a fort for them and putting some of their favorite toys inside the fort and saying like, oh, this is your Barbie's house, like let's play in your Barbie's house. And that's also something they can do independently and should not need you every step of the way. Idea number 4 is an indoor scavenger hunt. I loved doing this with my little kids. Literally as easy as getting Post-it notes and putting letters or shapes on them and tell them to go find 3 circles, go find letter A, B, C. Whatever you want to actually put on the Post-it note can work. You can put little pictures of animals. You can, if you're like really artistic and you can draw things, then go ahead and do that. Or you can do items, like giving them clues. This toy is hiding, you need to find where they are. Let's go on a little scavenger hunt and find them. It literally does not have to be difficult. This is definitely a more parent-led activity, but if you have the energy to do so and you want to put your energy into doing a scavenger hunt, this can be a lot of fun. It's not something that I do all the time because it can get old really quickly if your child gets really used to it. But if you save it for these like rainy days where you know like we are not getting outside at all today, then this could be a really good activity that you can actually plan ahead for and pull it out when you absolutely need to. The 5th and final idea and activity is one of my all-time favorites because there are so many benefits, but cooking or baking with your child. This is so much fun and it's so educational, and it really like helps you get things done, and it helps your child learn about cooking in the kitchen, measuring, stirring, following directions, cleaning up after themselves. All the things that your child is learning while you're cooking or baking together, and then obviously enjoying the fruits of your labor together. It could literally be as easy as making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or it can be as complex as making banana muffins from scratch. I'm sure there's way more complex things that you can make, but that is what first came to my mind. I hope these activities sparked some ideas for you. Don't forget that if you want the guide, check it out in the description box down below and pinned in the first comment. I hope you enjoyed this video and keep blooming. Mwah.